We will take members' questions. I'm going to start out with my 5 minutes of questioning here. And first of all, though, I want to recount the visit a year ago that I made down to the Tucson region and south of Tucson, where we had the hearing in Sierra Vista. And as you can see, the picture to my right here, we found all kinds of trash, human waste. It's the genesis of the Trash Act that you see in this legislation that we're considering today. I find it amazing that we have allowed millions of pounds of trash to be spread across these areas like the Coronado National Forest. I believe, Sheriff Cleveland, you commented about you perhaps worked in that sector. I find it amazing that this was simply allowed to happen under the Biden administration. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle talk consistently about protecting the environment. And if there's as much as a cap full of oil that's spilled on a drilling site, there's an immediate reaction, yet we see this degradation that's going on some of our public lands, and not a peep was said because it stood in the way of the narrative of the Holy Grail, which was to import as many people illegally into this country as possible, even at the cost to our environment. I find it amazing. But I would point out one other thing on that trip. We happened to stop at a hotel that had been turned into a halfway house in Tucson by one of the NGOs that were profiting off from illegal immigration. One of the NGOs that was one of the vital links in the chain, as well as the cartels, the International Organization for Migration, other entities that made illegal immigration a big business on both sides of the border. We found in that Tucson hotel exactly what was happening in Arizona. And we exposed it to the world, and it was amazing how the footage that we shot at that hotel in Tucson went viral, showing how many people were profiting off from illegal immigration, including some who claimed to be doing it for charitable purposes. Hopefully, that day is gone now forever. To that point, are things changing? Sheriff Cleveland, we've seen a new administration since January 20th. Tell us, are things changing on the southern border?
100%. It's a night and day. It's been a complete 180. I've anticipated activity in our county to start picking up. I'm not sure that I mentioned, but again, the activity we have in our area pales in comparison to many parts of the U.S.-Mexico border. But between Del Rio, Texas to El Paso, Texas, we are the busiest county and the busiest Border Patrol station. And I anticipated, with the plus up of Department of Defense personnel on our side, as well as the Mexican National Guard on the south side, it would push activity to our area because we're a more rural area. But we have seen very few groups. We've seen the numbers, less than 300 apprehensions made across the southwest border. What it shows, I know I've said before in interviews, a lot of times we say what a difference a year can make, but I'll tell you what a difference one person has made with President Trump's voice that has completely changed the dynamics on the southwest border.
So, yes or no, things have completely changed on the southern border since 2024?
Yes, completely changed.
Mr. Perez, has Border Patrol seen a change since January 20th?
100%, sir. Our posture has completely changed from a processing and facilitating workforce to a detecting and deterring workforce, where we're out there doing the job that we wanted to do by protecting the border, having all of our agents out on the lane, forward deployed. Yes, sir.
Border Patrol currently has to respect legal restrictions associated with wilderness areas. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do illegal immigrants also respect those rules and regulations that are supposed to be down on the southern border?
Not at all. They actually take advantage of it.
My final question I'm going to save for Lieutenant Lopez. So has legalization of marijuana made it less likely for the cartels to be growing marijuana in your state of California?
It's not less likely, it's more likely.
And are there Do you find a significant number of chemicals with marijuana grows? I think about it, it was happening in my state, in Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin, a number of years ago, and they found these very dangerous chemicals that were out in the environment. Do you find the same thing in California?
Yes, sir, we do.
With that, my 5 minutes are up, and I want to thank all of you for joining us.